Hey guys, it's your boy M.K.S back here again with another video, of course. Hope everyone's well. I often talk about the weather. I know it's a British obsession, I suppose. It certainly is an obsession of mine. But anyway, it's still beautiful weather out there. So anyway, I hope someone out there will enjoy this video, and I won't waffle too much. I know it's not another one of my infamous 30-point videos, 30-point lists. So I hope someone out there enjoys them. I'd love to know what people think about my lists, and if people can write in the comment, obviously, what they want is freedom of speech and all that. I certainly support freedom of speech, and if people out there don't like my my 30-point list videos, please let me know, and I'll see what else I can do, or any suggestions or whatever is always welcome. So I'll do my best to entertain as ever, and come up with something new or something hopefully interesting. I haven't really planned this, so I think it's probably better to just sort of think of things I'd like to do in an ideal day. Obviously, there's only 24 hours in a day, so if you're going to come up with a list of 30 things, you're not going to be able to do all of those things, or even you're probably not going to do half of them. But as I often say, I normally like to do certain things on certain days. So if I can't do it today, maybe next Tuesday or whatever, or let's say ASAP. So anyway, I'm going to try and get on with the list because I don't want the video to be too long, and I don't want to waffle too much. But number one, I often talk about how on Tuesdays I like to talk about banking and business, or think about banking and business, and plan for ideas that a while back I planned sort of each day, and I thought Tuesdays would be for banking Tuesdays or business generally. After a while I thought business generally, and I've had all these grandiose dreams about working with banks, and all these mad dreams I had, especially when I used to want to make lots of money for myself and be rich, and now I want to be a philanthropist and give most of my money away. So anyway, I hope to look into things like that, but I hope to find out about black-owned banks, African banks especially. I've seen a few YouTube videos, like can't remember what they're called now, but they a while back, which talked about, when I was looking into in Black History Month, Black Affluence or something, I think it was called, or something like that. And there were lots of things about black-owned banks in America. I don't know if there are any here in the UK, but I'd love to find out about African banks and Asian banks and things like that. I know there are a few channels, again, who look at the top banks in Africa and things like that. Number two, I hope to encourage those banks to invest in projects in Asia and Africa, like Asian entrepreneurs, African entrepreneurs, and that sort of thing, as many as possible, and sort of raise their profile. And I was thinking about like events that I also want to talk about Egypt hosting these events, and I've thought about a few titles for videos, or a few topics for videos as well, where it looks at how there could be networking events as well, as I thought about as well, for like Asian and African businesses. And I always pick 30, but it could be 100 or 1,000 or whatever. That might be even better. But like raise the profile of those businesses, and where they can network together and share their business cards, share the facts about their business, and that sort of thing. Network together, so they bring the continent together and work to support each other. And also hope to support African and Asian YouTubers. I hope they'll support my channel, because then I'll be able to, as well as helping me, they'll be able to help me to help them as well. So I hope as many people from Africa and Asia support my YouTube channel, as well as around the world. Of course, I welcome any people sharing, viewing, and subscribing to my channel, so I hope it'll be as interesting as possible. Number three, with those said banks, I hope to encourage them to invest in those businesses, and also to offer freebies, like with their funds. Like here in the UK, they have like stationery in banks. I don't know about America, but they have, like, sometimes you can have free pens and things like that. So I think it'd be great if in Asia and Africa they have sorts of things where they do things for the community, where they maybe different banks can compete to offer the best deals for the local community, and talk about investing in the local community. And obviously that could be part of their PR, which I often talk about, so people want to open accounts with them and all that. So also banks from outside of Asia and Africa investing in Asian entrepreneurs, but also offering things like stationery, pens, pencils, things for artists, things for schools, students. I know I have a lot of my own stationery, which I hope to send as well, but yeah, things like coloured paper, but plain paper and all that sort of stuff. As ever, I'd love to know what you think about these ideas. Mainly, I'd love to know what the banks think of those ideas, whether it's feasible for them, because obviously they're business. They're not a charity. They're going to want to make profit, but it's for their PR, so hopefully it'll be a mutually beneficial thing. Yeah, so free pens, pencils, stationery, and for Africa, like technological stuff, and things to help students with their education as well, in both Africa and Asia especially, um, or specifically in Africa and Asia, and that sort of thing, in every possible nation over there. Number 4, I hope to talk about Egypt, and Egypt to host these events that brings the continent together and talks about different projects on different days. I'm probably going to, for the rest of the month, or for well, at least, well, and June perhaps as well, and possibly some part of August, I'm going to talk about Egypt, hopefully, and or at least a week, like kind of talk about, or at least different days, like today, Tuesday. I hope to talk about how Egypt can bring together Asian African banks, businesses, YouTubers, people from the diaspora, and things like that. And Wednesday, like writing and art and things like that. So I often do with my plans, like different days, what they mean to me, and patterns and things like that. So I hope to incorporate those patterns into these projects. Number 5, again, I hope as many people as possible from Asia and Africa subscribe to and like my own channel and each other's as well. And as POC, people of colour, like to support each other generally, and see like and maybe even encourage YouTube itself to sort of help Asian and African YouTubers with tips, or helping them to promote their ideas or supporting their videos. And I think YouTube should support freedom of speech and things like that, possibly a lot more, to be honest. Make sure that no comments are deleted unless they're really threatening or violent, that they should allow as much freedom of speech as possible, not just for people from Africa and Asia, but from everywhere. But I hope they'll support African and Asian YouTubers, and possibly even fundraise for and different organisations and companies supporting Asian and African YouTubers. Number 6, I hope to talk as soon as possible, maybe tomorrow or maybe today, or at some stage, talk about the Black Wall Street, or Little Africa as it was called, and some of the atrocities, and how I hope they'll be able to rebuild that to what level it was before, and maybe even get some reparations or things like that. A controversial idea, I know. And also here in the UK, what's the name for it? The Windrush generation as well, and talk about, and maybe even African and British, Black British people working together, and anyone who supports justice, to look at how they can get reparations. I think the Windrush generation should be given back some of their tax money that they paid. So I hope to cover things like that. I'm not sure how much time I'll have to go into those details, but I certainly hope to give it a thought and see what I can do. Number 7, I hope that God himself will bless Africa and Asia as much as possible with good weather and positive miracles that help them. I know, unfortunately, they had like storm of locusts recently or things like that, so I hope that God will somehow make positive miracles in their favour, all being well, God's speed. Number 8, again, I hope for people with POC, people who can support Africa and Asia, and talk about tips and technique, advice, like how to keep fit, how to keep yourself safe, how to keep children safe online, how to support each other generally as much as possible, like give each other tips about self-defense, martial arts, boxing, or whatever, and train each other and support each other to tackle white supremacy or neo-nationalism, the far right, and whatever other extremism, and also to condemn all forms of extremism, obviously including Islamic extremism, dare I say, as well, and also to look at animal rights as well, and protecting children, spreading peace, love, positivity, and all that sort of stuff. So I often talk about, specifically hope to focus on that in terms of Africa and Asia network together, but also people of African and Asian descent around the world as well, and the global Black diaspora as well. As I say, mainly people POC generally. Number 9, tomorrow I'm hoping to focus on writers, Black and Asian writers and artists, poets, and that sort of thing of colour. POC could be poets of colour as well, or AOC could be artists of colour. WOC could be women of colour, or WOC could be women writers of colour, and all sorts of things like that, helping them to publish their work and sell their artwork, publish their writing and sell their artwork, and do poetry, that's spoken poetry or written poetry, and that sort of thing. Number 10, I hope to support and empower the youth of Asia and Africa as well, look at how they can have opportunities for careers, jobs, and things like that, and also how they can support each other and again invest in young businesses train people, provide mentorship and teaching, like Teach for Asia, Teach for Africa, Mentor for Asia, and Mentor for Africa, and things like that. Anyway, I'd love to know what you think about this video. Any bits you didn't like, any bits you did like. Thanks for watching if you watched the video to this part. And please give any likes, share the video. I really appreciate it. Hopefully people from Africa and Asia will watch this video and enjoy it, and around the world as well. So